I have been so busy this morning. I have been working on so many crochet cases all morning. I have a little assembly line going and I'm doing 2 of each color to start, and then I'll do more as the products go down in my shop. I made this one last night and I cannot believe how good the yarn color matches the melon soda. So I will have a few of these, and I'm going to call it melon soda in the shop just because it is a perfect match. Like, it looks so good with this Tama. I did this one too. I thought the yellow worked well with the retro, the clear retro theme. I did post this in my community tab, so maybe you've seen it. You probably saw me talking about making this case. I also made the pattern into a printable PDF, so you can download this from my online Tama shop, and I'll put a link in the description, but it includes all of what you need, instructions, especially getting started with the magic loop, because that one's a little bit tricky, has all the directions. And if I post any updates to this pattern, if you buy it from my shop, you'll also get notified if any pattern amendments happen. I don't foresee that, but in case it does. So this is my basket of connections, and I had one case, so I've got a bunch I need to make cases for. I already had one for this one. I just need to make these cases. So I thought I would do a video and show you the tutorial of how to crochet the cases, going through every step. I did have some comments on my last video asking that the instructions go a little bit faster. So what I'm going to do is put timestamps in the video description, so if you want to skip to the next step, you can. I want to make this beginner friendly too, so I do want to make sure I show everything real time, but I'll try to make it as informative at the beginning of the chapter and then go through all of the crocheting. Hopefully that's okay. Let's get started. I saved this pink color to use for this video and to make a case for my pink connection, which I think will be a nice pairing. I also will be putting the cases in my shop. If you are interested, you don't want to crochet it, you can purchase it in my online store. I'll have a link in the description as well. Every purchase, you will get a couple Tamagotchi stickers as well. So if you do order one of the cases from the shop, you'll get these freebies as well. So to begin crocheting your case, you don't need too many things, but you will need a ball of yarn. I like to use loops and threads. I got this at Michael's. It is the classic cotton, and a ball of yarn will be plenty. You'll be able to make a few cases with one. This one is a number 4 medium weight, and it recommends a crochet hook of 5 millimeters, but I like to use a number 3, so this is about 3¼ millimeters. I do crochet tight as well, so depending on the tension, you might want to size up your hook or size down, depending if you knit or you crochet tight or loose. And if your case seems a bit loose, you can go down a size, or if it seems a bit tight, you can go up a size. But this is the size I like to use. So you'll need a crochet hook as well. And then I just have a crafting needle, yarn needle I think it's called, and it has a blunt end, but I just use it to weave in the end through the project at the end. Lots of ends. There's lots of ends. And a pair of scissors, of course, to trim your yarn and your Tamagotchi, because you can use this to compare the sizing as you go and make sure that your case fits perfect. So to begin, you need to start with a magic loop, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a little bit tricky, but they're super awesome. Once you learn how to do them, they're the best way to start your crochet projects because they're adjustable, and I find them easy. You don't have to measure out the yarn. You can just use it from the ending. So we will pull off just a little bit of the tail here, unravel to get started. To begin, I just grab the yarn with my finger and thumb, and between my first 2 fingers here, actually. So we're going to wrap it around once and then bring it up, and then make an X across the underside of your fingers. And so when you do that, you're going to pinch that with your thumb just to hold it in place. And then you're going to bring it around a second time. This creates 2 loops on top of your fingers. And then to hold this, I just put it between my 2 fingers here so that I can just keep it taut and I can work with these 2 loops. Again, we have the X on the bottom. And so taking your crochet hook, you're going to go under the first string, over the second, and then pull this one under like this. And you're going to make a twist on your hook to make your first imitation stitch. So you're going to want to turn this towards you like this and then loop it back up so you have a little twist on your hook so that you can begin working with the yarn. I'm going to do that one more time so you can see it. So again, you're going to pinch the yarn with your thumb over your first 2 fingers and then wrap it around once, coming back, making an X under your thumb, and then wrap it around a second time, pinch it over here between your last 2 fingers, and then take your hook, go under, go over, pull that yarn through, pivot it towards you, turn, and make your first little twist. Now using this yarn that's hooked on your last fingers, just hook the yarn with your hook here and make your first single crochet, pulling it through the loop to secure that there. And now what you can do is untangle the tail and you have your magic loop. The great thing about this is it's adjustable, so you can pull this closed or you can open it up. And with whatever you made with the tail, the X, that's what you're going to have as yarn to pull. This will be plenty long enough to close your work when you're done making the starting chain or the starting loop. So we're going to do 8 half double crochet inside this loop. And as a tip, if you keep the tail along the loop and crochet over both at the same time, you can use that to pull your work closed at the end and you don't have to weave in that tail. Nobody likes doing weaving in, so let's skip that step. Okay, so you want to do 8 half double crochets. So to do a half double crochet, you want to yarn over once, put your hook through your work, yarn over again, pull that loop through. So you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. So you're left with 2 loops, yarn over and pull through all your work to create your first half double crochet. So we're going to do this 7 more times. So there's 1, 2, I'm going to close this up just a little bit, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is our last one. And now what you want to do is close this hole here. So we're going to pull the tail and cinch the work together, closing in that center piece. Got a little bit of a circle there. I think we can make that better. There, so you can see that it's brought it all together. You're going to count 8 stitches and slip stitch to the top of your first half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just a slip stitch so you hook and pull through both loops on your hook. No yarning over or anything like that. And so that's our first round. So for the second round, we are going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. Before I move to the next step, I'm just going to trim this tail because it kind of gets in the way sometimes and you don't need it at this point. Normally I would leave it to the end, but for just doing the demonstration here, I'm just going to trim this. Just trim it close to the work. It's already weaved in along that loop, so it should be fine. Okay, for the next step, we're going to do 2 half double crochet in each crochet around, so we have 8, so we should end up with 16 when we're done. So again, the very same stitch, yarn over, put through the first or the next half double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and complete the stitch. And we were going to put 2 in each one around. So there's our first double, or our first set. And here's our second set, 2 of 8. There's 3 of 8, 4 of 8, 5 of 8, 6, 7, and this should be our last set. Whoops, just through the stitch. And so now we should have 16 stitches around. So I'm going to count it, and then you're going to slip stitch to the top of your first half double crochet at the start of this circle pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then just a slip stitch. And then I'm going to just flatten this out a bit. It does like to curl because I work tight. But I do like a tighter case on my Tamagotchi because the threads will relax over time. So I want to make sure it fits nice and snug and keeps it secure. So there is our second round, or really our third round if you count the starting chain, the magic loop. So now we're going to keep building on this, make it a little bit bigger. For this step, the pattern is in the first 2 stitches, you're going to do 1 half double crochet and then 2 half double crochet all the way around the 16 stitches. So this will give you 24 at the end on your outer ring. So we're going to do 1 half double crochet and then 2 and then 1 and then 2 all the way around. And again, the same stitch pattern, which is nice. So we're going to do 1 half double crochet and then 2 half double crochet. And that is our first pattern. And so we're going to do this 7 more times for 8 sets. all the way around. So there's the first one of our second set and the 2 of the second set. And then we'll do the third start and then 2 in this one for the third set. And then 4, so the first one of the fourth set. And then this will be the second part of that fourth set. Putting 2 in this stitch. Okay, so let's do the 5th set. So we've got the first one. Sometimes this yarn likes, I'm going to redo that one. Sometimes this yarn splits because it's a multi-ply yarn and it's not a tight weave, so you really have to be careful, especially if you have a sharp crochet hook. It can have a tendency to want to split between the yarn fiber, like the strands in the yarn, which is really frustrating sometimes. It is a little bit trickier to work with than just a basic yarn, which seems to be proving its point right now. Okay, so there's 5, and then this is our 6th set. I mean, you get used to it, you get into a flow, and then you get accustomed to how to just pivot your hand to capture them all without them catching, but it's not a perfect science. This yarn is, yeah. But I do like it because it's very rugged and it lasts like, it feels like extra protection. It doesn't feel too thin for the Tamas, like it feels like it's protecting the case really good. Are we on 7, I think? 6, 6, yeah, we're on 7. So the first one of 7, and then the 2 of the second part of the 7 set, and then this is our last one, 8, and there we go. And then the second set of stitches for the 8 sets around the outside ring. Okay, so I'm going to just stretch this out a bit, and we're going to close this up again with a slip stitch to the top of the first half double crochet. You should have 24 stitches around. So counting back to the 24th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then we're just going to slip stitch into that 24th stitch to create the circle around. So our case is starting to come together. It's getting bigger, it's growing up, and it will fit our Tama soon. Okay, so next we're going to do the round that includes the holes. So there will be a hole for the Tama antenna, and then a hole for the infrared, and then a hole for the little charm loop here. And it is pretty much symmetrical, so it's a pretty easy addition, but we'll want to include that in. So there is a special pattern for this round. So to start, we want to do our first half double crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to chain 3 for the charm loop, or I guess the antenna loop it will be. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch from that first one, beside that first one. And so this creates the first space for the antenna. Next, we're going to slip stitch along the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to create the next hole, so do a half double crochet in the next stitch. And then the same thing, chain 3 to make that loop. 1, 2, 3. And then half double crochet in the next stitch. And there is our second loop. So we got the antenna and the charm space. And then this will be the little opening for the infrared sensor. And then you're going to do 17 half double crochets all the way around to come back to the starting position. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, there's the yarn splitting, there we go, we're okay, 6, 7, we'll get some more yarn here, 8, and because you're doing 1 to 1, it should start to curl in if it isn't already, because it's creating a smaller circle, it's not expanding as the circle gets bigger. 8, was that right, 8, I think? We will count them and see, I think it was 8, this would be 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, oh maybe that's 15. You know what, I think I did skip one there. I didn't skip it, I just miscounted. Okay, let me just double check where we're at. So at the end of this we should have 30 stitches. And I'm assuming that this would be my slip stitch. I'm just going to quickly count these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, yes, we are. So sorry, I did miscount there, but you probably were keeping track. So slip stitch into the 30th stitch if you count back from where you are, and that will create the next round. So this is looking really good. I'm going to zoom out a bit just so you can see as it builds. We've got these two little holes for the antenna and the charm, which look kind of like cat ears to me when I get to this step. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, so we're on the finishing round. This is it. This is as much as we really need to do. This is a pretty basic case. I don't like to make the cases too big because I like to be able to push the buttons without the edge of the case like being in the way and having to push down into the case. So that's what the design is meant to achieve. To do this finishing edge, we're going to do sort of a trim feature on this, not just a regular stitch. It's just going to be slip stitches. But you're only going to do the slip stitch in the bottom loop of that stitch. Not the full stitch, but just the bottom loop that's closest to you. So to start, you're going to do 4 slip stitches, which is going to put us around this bracket here for the charm. So, or the charm hole. So we're going to go into the bottom stitch of, or the bottom loop of this stitch. You can see that we're just coming through here. We would normally go through both of these, but we're just going to go through this one. And then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So there's one, and then again through just this bottom stitch, or bottom loop of the stitch, pull through both, bottom loop of the stitch, yarn over, pull through both loops. And once more, just the bottom loop here, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Okay, perfect. So now that we're at this position, you're going to do a chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And what this is going to do is create the opening for the sensor. So we're going to count past 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, so skip 3, and in the 4th stitch go into that bottom loop and slip stitch together. And so now we have the little space for the infrared sensor. And now we're going to do 3 more slip stitches across the opening for the antenna, charm hole, whatever it is, I guess charm hole. So 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do 19 stitches around to finish off this edge on the bottom loop only, don't forget. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, there we go. So now at this point, you want to check to make sure that this fits your Tamagotchi before you finish off your work. Because if it doesn't, you can adjust. So again, if you find that it's too tight, then you probably want to go up a hook size to make looser crocheting. If it's too loose, try going down a hook size to make it tighter, and that should help make it fit. Now, the best way to put this in, I'm going to take out the ball and chain just to test it. Normally I would feed it through the hole, but it's just going to get in the way. You just want to do a quick test. So what we want to do is put the top pieces in first. So line them up with the openings that we've created. Move this string over here. So we've got the antenna. It's hard to see with pink on pink, but we've got the antenna here, and we've got this charm hole. And then you just want to pull up the bottom. It's going to be tight because it's the first time it's going on your Tama, but you do want a snug fit so it's nice and secure. And that fits really good. So now the buttons have clearance for your thumb, and we've got this nice finished edge. And it fits pretty perfectly. We've got the space for the sensor, all this stuff on top. Kind of looks like a little face. Kind of looks like an oxalotl, whatever they're called. Kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, but I think this is fitting really good. So I think we're good to finish it off. Now to do that, I'll show you what I do. You want to leave a little bit of a tail just for weaving in this end so you can hide it. I usually cut, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or so, 5 or 6 inches. You don't need too much. And then you're just going to pull this loop that's on your hook, just pull it through, pull up. And it creates its own little kind of knot in the string. And then we're going to weave this in and hopefully hide it the best we can. It's always going to be a little bit weird because it's, you know, the connecting spot, but we'll try our best to make it look good. Okay, so we're going to put the thread through the needle first. So the way I do this that I find is the easiest is I put the yarn over like this and then pinch it so it's tight here, and then pull it through, and then put the string through like that. I just find that always works. I never ever have trouble with that not working. This is how I hide the edge. Hopefully this is all in focus and you can see that good. Okay, so here is where our little knot is, and this is kind of the stitch it's attached to, right? So what I do is I go to the next stitch and put it through these 2 stitches. So we're going to pull it through like that. It's going to start to pull towards this chain here, which this is our edge, so we want this to match up. And then we're going to put it back through where we came from. So what's happening is we've got this loop here, and we want to create the illusion of this kind of fishtail V. So we're going to put it back into that same space, just through this stitch, and pull it down through. Not too tight because you don't want it to be very noticeable that it's, you know, the way it is, that it's not perfect, it's not a true stitch. And so now you can see that it creates sort of these V's in this pattern, like this fishtail braid, and that's what we want. So we've pretty much finished off as best we can to make that edge look like a singular stitch all the way around. And then from here, it's just weaving it in. So I do like to go through something close to the bottom here, just underneath, but making sure that it's not going to pull back through where I came from, like it's beside it. And then from here, I like to get into the inside. You don't have to do this like right now I'm just doing where it fits best. So it doesn't have to be the same every time, but you just want to hide it. And then I like to get it into the inside where then I can ideally put it through one of those half double crochets where it has the loops, like the post, where it's looped over a few times and it's tight, and you can go through, like this one here has like 3 loops here. And so getting into that would be a nice secure fit, I think, to keep the end tucked in. And then I like to go through like a few so that if something happens and down the road it starts to come out of the stitches that I put it into, there's still going to be space that I can trim it and it won't fall out. Like it'll be in there nice and good for a long time. And get down into that center ring. It's nice and tight down there. Yeah, and so now I'm down into the center, pulled it through tons of stitches. It should be more than secure. And then we'll just trim off the end. And this is done. And that's all there is, which is really exciting. And I always feel so much better when there's a case on my Tamagotchi, just to help keep it from getting scratched. And if I want to wear it on like a lanyard or something, usually when I travel I do, yeah, it'll stop it from like banging against things and scratching as much. So to put it on, make sure you position the holes first of those little openings for the charm and the antenna, and then just roll up the bottom. So I'll just pull this up here, and then just loosely shape it around so it's nice and circular. It is yarn. I mean, it will relax after a while and it'll be a perfect fit. It molds to the device. But when you first have your brand new case, you got to kind of shape it a little bit. I think that looks really good. And this finished edge looks amazing. I think we did a good job on that. So this is a perfect Tamagotchi case. And now I can feel so much better that my Tama is secure and isn't getting damaged when I take it or throw it in my bag or whatever. I have, even carrying it around the house. This looks great. That's perfect. And so you can see that it fits really nice all the way around. And I'm really excited. And this has a nice open space too. So these connect really well. So again, I'm working on a whole bunch. So if you do want to buy one instead of making one, that's fine too. I'll have them in my shop. So you can pick some up and you'll get the free stickers as well. And I have the pattern if you want to download, purchase the pattern and print it out and keep it handy if that's how you prefer to work. You can always use this video if you get stuck on a spot or you're not sure. And I'll put the links all in the description below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I do have a sneak peek of what's coming up on my next video. You might have noticed it in my little Tama box, maybe not, but let me show you. So I have this one in here. Do you know what this is? A lot of people have been asking me to do a video on the picks. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to boot this up. It's been a long time. I'm going to do a playthrough video and show you some of the things that I like to do with the picks, my dailies, and some games and stuff, things I like, and how to operate everything. And I'm going to do a tutorial for the case as well. When I'm not using my Tamas, I put them in the crochet case, but I put them upside down just to protect, I don't know, the face, I guess. But this one here fits really nicely for the picks, and it has a little camera hole. If you line it up, there we go. It's got the little camera hole. So I'm going to do a video on how to make this crochet case next, but I'm also going to do a tutorial video and just kind of do a playthrough. So I think that'll be fun. Lots of people are getting picks lately, and they're a really fun device. I feel like because they came after the Ons, that we were so devastated to lose all the functionality of the gene mixing that we didn't appreciate the picks. But then going back to it, it's really a great device. There's lots of cool stuff on the picks, so look for that video soon. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a like. That always helps, and subscribe so you're notified the next time I post videos to my channel. And if you hit the bell, hopefully you'll get notified as well, all the good YouTube things that they want you to do. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.